it was that reveal.
We could watch it. It's only a minute long.
Yeah, I do want to watch it. The water main break.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We're waiting on her.
All right, we're good. Okay.
All right. Winter Wonderland.
I mean, you know, if this wasn't going on, that's pretty neat looking. It's pretty, like he said.
It's like a winter wonderland. It's all I can imagine. There's got to be nothing but ice out here.
This guys has been going on since around 5:30 or so.
Yeah,
It was just sort of a bubble in the road, and then slowly got bigger, and then probably around 5:30, it just popped.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, she's scared. I mean, this is just unacceptable. Right. We know this is going on with pipes all over the city and everywhere else, but this should have been a main priority when this stuff is shooting at people's homes like this.
I just don't understand.
Just doing damage, and it's just very unsettling, very unsettling.
If I had a key, I'd go up there and turn the valve off.
It's down. There she goes.
I'm excited. I'm thankful
like
that they came.
the
I
red
know my neighbors are, woo, Paula! We're glad.
Oh my God!
Praise the Lord.
That one's a yes for me.
3 yeses.
So what makes that such a good?
Everything. The shot selection, the reveal. Like, you didn't know it was a geyser or a water main break until they showed it to you. The moments where the neighbors are reacting to each other.
It's a shame.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Like, dang. It's a lot of water.
We have to deal with Harvey.
Houston.
Now we have to deal with this.
It's a shame that the weather did this to us this great day
This is the
of
4th of July one.
4th of July.
Wow, this is such a disappointment. This is the freedom over Texas. And I see no freedom in here. All I see is water.
You go down there, you're gonna drown.
Damn it. All this water, and it's already at where the banks are at. It's all underwater, and all the American flags are in the water.
When I got here, I saw the great disaster, and I was like, what happened here? It rained earlier.
That's why the sun is out. So now we're gonna watch the fireworks on the other side of all this catastrophe, because there's gonna be fireworks.
Big mess.
It's a shame. Nothing more I can tell you.
It is a good ending shot. I think for me, nothing popped out of that one for me.
This one is
still.
a maybe for me.
Yeah,
Can we
because
say
there's no
maybe?
moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one can be a maybe.
Consider this application.
Yes.
Yes.
What makes you want to consider it as a maybe versus a no or a positive yes?
We want to see what else is there
Yeah.
before we make a decision one way or the other, because it does have good shots.
Yeah.
It is shot well, but there's nothing in it that is memorable for
Right.
me.
The story was.
Like the first package, you remember that. I remembered it when
Yeah.
they said Winter Wonderland. Oh yeah, it's an automatic yes.
Yeah, and I remember the framing of those interviews.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
Tough little house.
You walk it tough.
It seems like the fire's just growing.
From what I saw myself, the house was blazing.
Units
Yeah.
responded to the 1100 block of Holland Street. We actually had 3 occupants that were occupying
like that.
1133 at the time.
It was a gentleman.
One of the occupants managed to jump from the 3rd floor window.
Yeah, that was her that got taken away in the ambulance. Her arm was pretty badly burned.
Yeah, it's
I like that.
destroyed,
Yes.
man. That's unbelievable.
It looked like the fire was going down, and they put it out, and then it just reignited.
Born and raised there.
Wow.
I finally moved out when I was
Oh yeah.
probably
This is a yes.
27. All my
I
life.
know.
Got a
Like,
good history
this is a
here.
yes.
I still want to see
Great
it. I
place
want
to
to
grow up.
remember this.
Tough little house to be living in. When my mom had passed away, left it to my brother. All my memories in that house. I can't wait to go around the next day and just see what's left.
You know what's weird? The only shot that really didn't do a lot was the one of the fire trucks, like
Yep.
3 shots back. But everything else was like,
Yeah,
wow.
no, it was
Yeah,
good.
every shot.
You guys all said the same thing. Oh yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
What made that shot so special?
So one thing that I always look at for these type of stories is is how you shoot interviews. And like if you, cause you could get very, in a scene like that, I feel like you could get very stagnant and just shooting an interview regular style.
Right.
But when you find a way to be creative in shooting the interviews, that always stands out to me. Like in
For
Winter Wonderland.
me, I don't, especially on spot news, I mean, I do pay attention to the framing of the interviews, but for spot news, it's really easy to shoot without intention.
Right.
And to just shoot random things.
Because there are things going on.
And so with every shot in that story, every shot moves the story forward.
Right.
Yeah.
So instead of just, here's some more flashing lights, and here's some more flashing lights.
It's a framing of everything.
Right.
It's like, you know.
It wasn't like he was just shooting because something's going on. He's shooting because, I mean, he anticipated, and the framing composition was great too.
I like the phrase you use, shooting with intention.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go.
This world is getting crazy.
A tearful embrace is what you'd expect to see outside a funeral. But this is different. Heightened emotions.
Obviously nervous. I mean, my son goes to school right here.
Schools on lockdown.
Like, it was like, not too loud.
A day that was already difficult.
Everybody thinking it was fireworks, but no fireworks. Everybody started rolling.
Now, a double tragedy.
This world is getting crazy because we got a funeral right here, then plus somebody else got shot. That's crazy.
Carlos Medina heard the gunfire from his auto repair stall across the street.
I hear like 8 or 9 shots.
Cameras from his shop captured the chilling moments. The procession had just arrived when you see a group at the top of the screen begin to run. The entire crowd scatters in moments.
Immediately following the shooting, everyone at the funeral ran in all different directions, including any suspects that were among them.
One man was killed, another in critical condition.
3 people got shot in the graveyard at the gravesite of the burial.
The body, the guy is still right there.
Family covered in dirt.
The family, poor family right there. They crying and see all these things happen again.
Unfathomable pain. Amplified.
That one, I'm torn on that one.
I'm a maybe on that one.
Yeah.
Because we have a long list to go through.
Yeah, let's put that
so
as
we're
a
gonna have to
maybe.
be.
Yeah.
That last shot got me.
And I did like the interview with the guy out of focus. Yeah,
Out of focus, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The sequencing was kind of weird, you think, or the shots weren't.
No,
that
they're
didn't jump
very
out at me.
sequencing.
Cool. I think that was like some of the things
This
that they
is
were doing
Dangerous
was cool.
Corner. I remember this one.
Yeah, I do too. I like this one. From what I can remember, yes.
It's lunchtime, but no one's talking about food. Some go bat.
And it's just a shame to see how black people's killing black people every day.
On Pennsylvania Avenue, just south of North Avenue, gunshots ring out.
Everybody was like really afraid for their lives. Even people in the building were ducking.
Yeah.
Traffic comes to a stop, but emotions run high. Some wondering why they didn't get hit by one of the bullets.
With a lot of people standing out here.
I like this
One
one
block
because
in
the fast
Baltimore.
pace
This is
makes
happening
you
all the time. Well
nervous,
known because
which
of
I
the
think is
crime.
the
This is
point.
dangerous.
It's gonna happen again.
Ever since Freddie
Yeah,
Gray.
you know what I mean? Like, it just makes you
It ain't the
nervous.
mayor, it ain't the governor, it's people gotta change. The police can't be everywhere. People don't believe
So many
it, but
voices
God is
in
the
this
answer.
podcast.
In West Baltimore, Kathleen Cairns,
That
Fox
was the
45
answer.
News.
And not one soundbite was like useless or, you know, like just bland. It was
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. I remember that title.
I know, but remember, it wasn't really called that.
With furious winds
Do you
and
remember?
foreboding clouds,
I think the gods are angry.
it
maybe this
slowly
is different.
flew over the horizon like the worst
I know we
kind
had a
of
couple.
weather.
Like a real bad thunderstorm.
Roy Warner only wished it meant rain.
The wind got under it again and away it went.
That's nice.
This was a firestorm.
They tend to kind of work uphill, but that guy looks like he wants to come down.
30,000 acres
Crazy.
and counting.
Like a Big monster.
The Dollar Ridge fire
Oh, see, look at how big those flames are.
had made spectators of everyone,
Yeah, that wind's blowing it all over that way.
at least anyone who wasn't forced in an instant to leave home.
It's probably gone by now.
Jenny Taylor only had 10 minutes to flee her cabin.
It's sad, makes me want to cry.
That's right, people came and helped
A lot of money, a lot of time. All gone.
Even firefighters had to keep a safe distance.
We're not even able to get crews on the ground near the fire.
The fire, they said, was just too unpredictable.
That is burning embers coming to you, landing in your dry fuels.
That is amazing. In a bad way.
Neighbors could only wait and hope.
I just hope to God that these people get out and nobody loses their life over this.
They all felt uneasy over this fire.
Just take a spark and away it'd go.
A volatile firestorm that has left everyone guessing.
He said, this looks like the end. And it does.
It is called. That one's a definite yes for me. I think.
This is gonna be tough.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of good shots in that one.
Yeah, there was nothing that, like, and it's crazy for me.
And
like,
I'll remember that. Like,
yeah,
that's what I'll remember.
that's because like right now it's like I can't pick any one thing out of that one that says, well, maybe, it's like, no, that was just a very solid thing. Audio was good. Yeah. Oh, I remember this one. You remember this?
Oh
one?
yeah.
The two stories.
Yeah, two different stories on the same.
Two different people telling the same story.
Right.
Yeah.
So much for date night.
Oh, I remember.
I've never actually been in a situation where they're like, nope, you need to leave the area. This is dangerous.
Part of the structure collapsed, and
I couldn't watch. The building was burning.
we got a report of smell of smoke in the apartment.
I saw some smoke, and I was like, okay, what's going on?
They found fire up in the attic, so began to fight the fire in the attic.
The flames shot up there.
Nobody was injured in this. We've got about 20 families displaced.
Unfortunately, we're probably one of them.
The Red Cross is coming out to help take care of them. The cause is still under investigation.
They're like, you guys need to leave. And I'm like, my cat's up in my apartment. And they're like, no time, get out of the area. We're safe, Gracie's safe.
Yeah, just so much pressure.
The whole building's probably a total loss. We probably have to move now.
It's as good an outcome as you can expect for this type of situation.
Especially since we were planning date night tonight.
I was waiting for her to get off, and then we were just going to go out and have some fun tonight before work tomorrow. Now I'm not sure what we're going to do.
Now we got to figure out where we're going to be able to be sleeping.
Pretty much lost everything. We're going to have to find a new place to go as far as I know.
So I'm going to say no, only because I know there's another version of this story. Someone else did the same story, and I remember liking it.
I like that one better.
Yeah.
For me, it was there were a lot of shots, like, it could have been shorter. It could have been a short, like, I don't know.
You mean
There was
losing
just,
time-wise, or shorter shots? More shot selection?
no, I think the package itself could have been shorter, because there wasn't anything that just, like, jumped out at me.
Right.
And it wasn't like that one story we saw where it was short,
Right.
but every shot moved the story along. With this one, it was like they were really pretty shots, but like.
But I think it has something to do with content, because the other story with the dog, I think, was probably around the same time, Len, but it just kept you from what I recall, it kept you involved.
Yeah.
I can say no to this one.
But I will say that what I did like about this one was kind of what you said earlier was this, but it's an editing thing, how the sound bites played off of each other.
Yeah.
And continued the story. So I like that one. I like that part about the story. But anyway, we could go on to the next one.
We were back away from the building, we could just see flames everywhere.
As the calls for help flooded in,
We got multiple calls from people inside the building.
dozens desperately tried to get out.
Initial reports that there were folks trapped.
It was really scary, yeah.
Rhonda Russell
Didn't know what was going on.
was greeted by flames outside her door.
It was really bad. It was just nightmare.
While she and her husband made it out, 10 of her neighbors needed help.
10 patients have been transported to area hospitals now.
You know, we'll see how, just hope for the best. That's all you can do, is hope that it'll be okay, you know, so.
Hope on days like this is difficult to see.
The fire is under control. We're working on some hot spots at this time. Unfortunately, there have been 2 fatalities associated with this fire.
And then there's a lot of handicapped people in that building.
People like Ashley Baring's mother, who was taken out through her bedroom window.
I didn't really know what happened until I got the call from my mom, and she was in the hospital. And they didn't know if there was any animals inside. They said they would look through the window.
Her mother's service dog, Kush,
Yes.
has not been seen.
Definitely really, really upset.
So Ashley is here for her mom, hopeful for good news,
He was in the apartment.
hoping for any sign.
Come here, Kush. It's okay, baby. It's okay. Kush. Oh my God. But he was sitting in there shaking, just on our bed waiting. Just waiting for Mama to come back. It's okay, yes. Here, he's just really shook up. They said that they, looked in and he put his head up, and we're just happy that he's okay. Thank you.
Her mother, still in the hospital, still doesn't know.
He's okay, Mom. They just pulled him out of the window. Kush is okay. He was still in the house. Yeah, he's okay. And then I will give him a hug. He couldn't see very well.
For this family, there's a glimpse of hope.
He's just exhausted.
It's needed after such a hopeless morning.
All right. I love you, Mom. I'll see you soon. I'll give him a kiss for you.
That's a yes for me. Yeah, that was shot really well. Good moments. Yep.
Spot news.
This area is under mandatory evacuation.
A code red evacuation order.
Do I go this way? Or?
Yep. Just head down that way,
Thank you.
okay?
I'm sorry, I'm freaking out.
Nope, that's okay.
Thank you.
Cars lined up to get in, with little time to grab their belongings.
Yeah, they're gonna give you about 5 minutes, and then they'll make you evac.
The sky above the fire filled with smoke and turned downright nasty Saturday afternoon.
The 416 fire is moving your direction.
Babe, is there any more baby stuff that we need to bring?
Jason and Abby Soros rushed to pack up, bringing only
what's important,
a baby on the way, putting what's really important into perspective. The fire has been steadily growing, but when they woke up, there was no real indication their day was going to end up like this.
As soon as she got the message, I called. I didn't know that they were getting evacuated. So we immediately came out here and we find out we have an hour.
Not much time. So friends showed up to help.
What's up, buddy? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Knowing his family will be safe tonight, away from the fire, packing up and rushing out.
Taking all the stuff I need, make sure my kids are good and I'm good. And that's all that matters, man. That is all that matters.
There's some MOs there.
Yeah, I mean,
MOs.
And what do you think, Bob, moving?
I
Well, I didn't
understand
mind-
it because
yeah, I didn't
it was
mind that.
frantic.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
Yeah. That's what I always, one of the things I always say is like never let your ego override the moment. So even if the moment isn't shot perfectly, it's important to include the moment. And so a lot of these things where they're, and especially in spot news, when there's movement in that moment, like it's better to keep the moment with the movement than lose it all together.
Important in that situation.
I agree. But considering what we're judging.
I know, and that's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I wouldn't.
I can say no to this one.
Yeah,
Because
but it
I'm
wouldn't be
all
because
about
of that though. Yeah.
What would it be because of?
I just think the other ones the other ones that we said yes to are stronger.
Well, this had good moments too, like him out of breath, like you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. The others are stronger.
The other fire story is stronger.
The one right before it, or the
end.
Oh,
It's
the
like
end. Yes, yes, yes.
Four before.
Different fire.
So no.
No. That was a hell of an explosion.
Oh, I think I know.
We just witnessed
explosion.
Trying to figure out what's going on.
Apparently it was a gas leak.
Oh my God. Is everyone okay?
I like
It
the
was
quick
like
cuts
a
off
big
the
old
top.
bomb. It sounded like a bomb.
1:15, we received a report of an explosion.
Wow.
That was a hell of an explosion. Pulled off to Santa Fe, and right as I got in front of the building, house, whatever, it blew up.
When we arrived on scene, we found that there had been an explosion and there was an active fire that was going on.
All the crazy mountains shook.
The whole front of it just exploded out into the street.
That's good.
It blew out all of our windows.
2 reports it was natural gas.
This is
Shaking, we're still shaking.
I thought that it was a car that like drove in because it was like almost the whole wall like came in.
Cargo was driving by because I remember looking at it and it got pushed.
I'm very emotional. It's still.
There were 2 other people that I saw that were pretty injured.
We have 9 injuries. 7 were treated and released. 1 critical was transported by Denver Health along with 1 in stable condition.
My ears are like still ringing. That's how loud that thing was.
Anytime that anybody smells natural gas, the mercaptan that's released with that natural gas, call 911 immediately.
It's unbelievable. You don't expect something like that just to happen on a regular day. You're at work, go to lunch, come back. No, not in this case.
Jeez.
Can I say a maybe on this?
That's a maybe.
It's
for
a
me.
definite maybe.
That's a definite maybe. Okay.
1, 2, 3. We have 3 yeses right now. No, 4.
4 yeses.
Unsettling.
Yeah.
Routine.
Nice.
Yep.
It's a pretty ugly scene. As bad as you can get.
There's a noticeable rhythm, pattern, and routine in Durango.
Everybody's evac'd and they've got the roads blocked and they're not letting people in there because it's too dangerous.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
Evacuees of the 416 fire are getting used to a new normal
It's looking pretty hot.
as the fire that's burned more than 20,000 acres closes in on their homes.
We've been
Yeah.
evacuated for 3 days now. 3 days ago, we were 7 miles from the fire. 2
Yeah.
days ago, we were 2. Today, we're 1.
Tom Flynn
So
had to get used to this routine once before.
we lived here during the 2002 Missionary Ridge fire.
So did Michael Martin.
And it says you've been evac. You kind of have your ups and downs. Sometimes you wake up at 3:30 in the morning all stressed out, and then you go, well, what's the point of stressing? Because it's not going to fix anything.
Come out in the morning, see the damage, go to town, have lunch, come back and watch it. There's really nothing else you can do.
No,
Really
not
good.
much. But try to make this
Shooting
routine
a wildfire, it's
a little more
difficult to shoot a
tolerable.
wildfire,
Stopped
so
at Liquor
getting
World
these action
because nobody
shots
wants to go through an evac
is,
sober, right? So
We got all the beer and wine out of the house.
I just partied for 3 days.
And these are really good characters.
There's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Might as well just relax, wait and see what happens.
It's kind of a strange
Their
thing to
interviews are
watch
shot
your whole
well.
world burn slowly along. It's just a slow-moving disaster. It's not like a flood. It's not like a war. It just happens hours upon hours, days upon days, and we're nowhere near the outcome.
These evacuees still keep faith in the fire crews.
Man, they're off the charts. I can't believe what a good job they've done.
They're the heroes of the day, man. Absolutely.
Nothing else to do but settle in to an unsettling routine.
I love that closing shot too.
There's a good
I think a good character is underrated.
Yeah, and that's a definite
finding
yes
it,
for me.
Yeah.
Finding it is hard.
Are you a yes for that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
3 yeses.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it when I first saw it.
That was a good one. And I remember that they both were like, let's just get the beer.
Let me get a love from you.
Is that right?
Yes.
Water. It has the ability to soothe and heal.
The water can be really good and peaceful at the same time.
But it can also cause pain.
Crossing the road. Funny.
at the same times can be very dangerous.
Despite the dangers, some decided to test the floodwaters of Florence. Kathy Griffin and her fiance entered, not knowing this bridge was over troubled water.
Oh, no.
For 12 minutes, the couple was submerged in water, pleading for help. But 3 strangers took a leap of faith.
That's my husband.
And rowed.
Both of them are out. I thought I was gone, 'cause I can't swim. And I'm blind.
I thought it was all right holding on to the bridge, but I hit a washout. The road was washed out and we went completely under.
The water so strong, it swallowed Kathy's pants. Her fiance used his body as an anchor.
Oh, she kept saying, don't let me drown, don't let me drown.
Mike Cornelius stepped in.
Almost 100 yards with a lady on my back. Through the water, too? Yeah, through the current. Yeah. That was really pushing us.
These floods of Florence met their match in the courage.
That's crazy. That's legendary stuff right there. Come on, let's get out of the water back here.
And kindness of strangers.
Hey, you stay safe, sweetie. Let me get a love from you. Let me get a love. All right. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, sweetie. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
That was really well. I mean, that was.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, all centered around that one moment, and catching that was huge.
That was good. Yeah.
That was good. That's
Yeah, so yes for me.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
I remember this one. I think.
Come back to man, then we'll get another assignment for you.
Smoke suffocated the Texas sky.
She got pretty close, boys, but the house is still up.
And all this family could do is pray.
Left work and drove here as fast as I could.
That their homes stay untouched as this 500-acre fire rips through Wise County.
The fire's still super going, like it's still spreading car to car. I mean, explosions are going off.
The blaze started this morning near the Barclay salvage yard in Alver.
10, 20 foot above the trees, moving pretty quick.
Audie Barclay and his family have owned it since the 70s. He doesn't know how the fire started, only that flames woke him up.
So we started fighting right then, and we've been fighting it all day.
From the air and the ground, crews are working to contain the blaze, which is consuming anything in its path. Just take a look at these cars. Some swallowed by fire, and others burnt to a crisp.
It looks like they all been on, snow was on all of them. You look across the pasture over there.
In all, 20 homes have been evacuated, but none are damaged yet.
Picking them up with the forks and moving them and tossing them.
Zach Barclay is Audie's son. He and most of his family live at the salvage yard. Just look at how close the fire got to his front door.
Well, we're already lucky because everybody's safe, at least as far as we know. Nobody's hurt.
One thing's for certain, the dry conditions aren't helping. Crews hope to strengthen containment and fire lines overnight, while those who call this area home wait.
And it looks safe now, but I mean, I guess the wind could always turn, so.
And hope for the best.
As long as nothing burns down, then it's a good day, I guess.
That's a good shot.
I think I can say.
I can say no.
I can say no.
A lot of good things in that, though.
There were.
Next one, too much to be in a hurry.
I remember this one too. The car accident. The one boy's.
Yeah. He hit head on to that pole. He was in a hurry to go somewhere, but it's never too much to be in a hurry to go somewhere. I saw a car zoom fast at least 40 miles per hour. Everybody came running out of the stores. People got out of their cars, you know, to see if everybody was okay and to talk to the driver. And the driver was just so shook up because he couldn't even talk himself. I ran up to the vehicle to make sure everybody was okay. I don't think anybody hurt me. Everybody was shot. The driver did exit out the vehicle. Nobody was able to move. They couldn't even get the doors open.
Yes, it is.
There were no breaking skid marks. You see that?
I do see the skid marks
And I do
from
like how you said, having
where
her voice narrate
they're the lighter
what
ones on
happened.
the roadway, and they lead all the way up to the pole.
Yep.
That's how I know he was at least going for at least 40 miles per hour, at least. And that's how people get hurt.
Good job composition in that one.
Yep.
I can say yes to that one.
It's a yes.
Why is this not? Oh, that's why.
Hey, how's it going? As you crept in here.
Would have been awful.
Would have been.
Known as one of the busiest travel days of the year.
Okay.
On Thanksgiving Eve, South Asheville roads had unexpected congestion and a mess.
We're on Overlook Drive with these runaway horses.
Roxanne Rodriguez says she was driving right behind these horses. She says ambulance sirens spooked them, throwing the driver out, and then the horses took off.
They were at a full run down Long Shoals Road the whole way.
With help, she got them stopped here about 2 miles later.
Just got spooked.
Yeah, white balance is off.
Yeah.
They're black to wool.
Yeah.
Please tell them not to have their sirens on because the horses got spooked by the ambulance sirens.
A police spokesperson says the driver went to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Didn't see her hit the ground, but I saw her just sitting there. She was just sitting up, but
We
she
can
was
stop this
in
one.
shock. I don't know. She wasn't moving.
Rodriguez grew up.
It's a no.
We're looking better.
Hold on one second before you play it.
Because once it pops that ridge, that makes it
If you will, just give us a second to write it down or take notes of it before you hit play.
Because you're writing.
Yes, I am writing.
Oh, yeah.
Or give me.
Give me.
All right, I'm ready.
Because once it pops that ridge, that makes it uncomfortable.
Even from a distance,
Should follow that ridge line.
neighbors were feeling the heat.
But that's rising up and moving. The wind's pushing.
Flames and smoke quickly rose over the hillside.
That's why we came here, to see if we could watch it and see what's going on, get a better idea.
Ed Friery's home was close enough to the fire to make him nervous.
Yeah, you got some new smoke coming up right in there.
Like that.
The Turbals fire sparked close to I-80, and it rapidly spread across hundreds of acres.
It's hot today, the fields are dry, it kind of creates its own weather pattern through these canyons. The wind does push this fire.
Helicopters attacked from the air, as did airplanes.
There's the first plane I've seen.
On the ground, crews worked swiftly to try to halt the flames' progress.
So this is a pretty light fuel type, it burns quickly, but resources are able to get on there on the ground and do a lot of hand work.
As long as the Labor Day weather cooperated,
That's what's going to save our bacon right here if this wind stays the way it is.
neighbors tried to relax.
Man, that is good. That looks a lot better.
The hard work of firefighters was easy to see from afar.
Planes up there have done an amazing good job of
Shot in and out.
cutting it off. We're looking better.
Good shot there.
Yeah, that is a good shot.
You know, that was shot really well.
You know what's hard too is like I keep on going back to the first fire story, the end, and that one was so well shot that like if I compare it to this one, you know, the end is still stronger.
Right. I think I mean this was well shot, but I think I can say no. For the
There
same
weren't really
reason.
any big moments in there.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good sound. But
He was,
nothing
for sure.
jumped
Beautiful.
out.
I mean, it was a beautiful.
Yeah. I can agree. I can say no.
scenery stuff, and to be in there as a photographer, that was like, you know, just you could tell that photographer knew where to go, what to see, what to look for, took the time. But yeah, I'm a no.
Three no's.
We have 6 more, I think. Something.
We still got 6 yeses.
I pray they catch him.
Okay.
I'm writing. All right, I'm ready.
Almost anything looks better during the golden hour.
Oh, it's beautiful. We love it.
But not even the sun's soothing rays
I really, really can't believe it.
can mask the horror of what happened here.
Never in my life would I think something like that could happen here. Never.
William Zevany is still in disbelief
This is, woof.
that just hours earlier, something unspeakable took place feet from the path he likes to walk.
So she was removed from the footpath forcefully.
Sandy police say a woman was forced into a dry Dimple-Dell gully by a stranger and then was sexually assaulted.
There were physical injuries to her.
After the attack, the man ran toward the surrounding neighborhood, disappearing into the noise of a hectic lunch hour.
I was
sitting right here on my porch cutting rocks while that was happening. It's scary.
Officers say it's scary too.
This is in the middle of the daytime. This is extremely brazen.
As police warn others to be careful.
Always walk with a buddy. Try to reduce the chances.
Neighbors can't get past the ugliness of the crime.
It's a shame. It really is.
They're trying to understand how this possibly could have happened in a place so stunning.
Man, look, that's even a good spot for them to hide.
They hope police will be able to shed more light.
I pray they catch him. I don't care, man. I'll die for somebody. I'm not going to let them get hurt. Not like that. That's not right.
This was another one for me that was well shot, but we have ones with really strong moments that are...
Stronger moments, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Next one, a really rough night.
Ready.
The signs are everywhere of a really rough night in Fairburn, Georgia.
Wow, what a mess.
You can hear it pop, pow, 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 pow.
Debris that begins at John Houston's house never seems to end. It goes from here to here and even here.
At that moment, my wife and I realized our lives could have been taken away from us.
The path of destruction scattered everywhere. A dictionary blown open. The word at the top doesn't describe the scene. To capture what these folks really went through, you have to go further down the page.
It seemed like in minutes it just happened.
And in minutes, Lisa Hutchins' life was turned upside down.
The dream was to have a house and to give my kids a home, and now to know that I have to start over and it's hard out here, and just a thought of where do we go from here? You want this one, the green one?
That answer may lie next door. Neighbors helping neighbors.
I mean, the community rose up.
Can you turn it up just a little bit?
They will rebuild one home and heart at a time.
It's no problem. Don't cry.
In South Fulton County, Adam Murphy, CBS 46 News.
I think we have some missed opportunities.
Yeah.
I don't like this one.
I like it, but I just think we have others that are much stronger. I like this one. I think
That's
they
what
were
it's boiling
missing
down to. I
pacing
like a lot of-
opportunities right off the top. Yeah.
Pow, pow, pow,
Yeah.
That was really cool. The 300 move, like speed and then slow it down.
And that one interview just stood out to me, but
Right. They all have good elements.
Yeah, because that's the thing is like they're all really good. We just have to.
I surrender. It's a no.
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
This one is
Squire Street Stand Up. Ready.
Ready?
Yes.
They echoed through empty streets. Sounds that rattled neighbors.
You could see the SWAT teams were arriving.
A bunch of them were running around the neighborhood.
Police in large numbers, flanked by a SWAT team, converged on a West Jordan neighborhood,
It's actually a pretty good neighborhood.
barely leaving anyone with any time to reflect.
So, yeah. Don't know what to think about it.
I heard
Soon,
the cops. You could hear them, yelling at somebody.
a more detailed picture emerged.
There was some type of verbal exchange. He turned around and ran back into his home, and it was then that they noticed that he had a handgun.
It was a picture that took shape the night before.
I thought that it had something to do with that house on Gentry Way that was vacant.
Yeah, just on fire. And there was a lot of smoke.
The next street over,
Kind of surprised me.
investigators had made an unsettling discovery about a house fire.
They found evidence that suggested that it was an arson and that this individual was the person responsible.
The next day, the SWAT team had entered the man's home.
And sure enough, a few minutes later, they just brought him out in handcuffs and put him in the back of the truck.
As police rolled out, neighbors were left with questions.
Obviously, something bad was going on, and I didn't know what it was.
And apparently he's just been really troubled.
Questions with no easy answers.
Sad. I don't know what caused him to do what he did.
They're unnerved by the silence.
Hopefully I'll get the treatment he needs.
That guy's like the softest heart ever.
that last shot, that was just a shot of the neighborhood, because that wasn't the house shot, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I would have.
Nothing about that
Jump.
said it was the house, I guess. It
Yeah.
was like just a generic
Yeah,
shot of the neighborhood.
yeah, because I wouldn't want to. Yeah.
It wasn't really clear what issue was.
No, they didn't say what happened. They just say he got.
Man barricaded himself with a gun.
1, 2, 3.
And caused the fire.
Let me look at this. 1, 2, 3.
We got 6.
Do we? I thought we had 8.
Using the same guidelines, I have to say no.
Same.
Yeah. No. But before we go on to the next one, how many do you have?
I have 8 yeses.
Say again.
I have 8.
2, 3, 4,
2, 4,
6, 7.
6, 8. Yeah, 8.
Yeah.
I'm missing one. Oh, the maybe.
Huh?
You got maybe.
Oh, we had 2 maybes, but I didn't call those
I didn't
yeses.
put. I know. I'm only counting my yeses.
1, 2, 3.
So went to 1. Oh.
No. 5, 6, 7. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Where's the smoke?
Where's the smoke?
You ready?
Where there is smoke.
Where there is smoke,
There's fire. Ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Where there
Yeah,
is
we don't
smoke,
have to watch
there
this.
is
Yep.
fire.
He had an injury on this side.
A signal of what's
Yep.
raging on exit 3 of a busy Dallas Highway 75.
I was walking by and it was boom, just like you see in the movies.
Fire consumes.
Yep.
What is
I
left?
really like this one.
Oh.
There's a lot.
Look at it.
All
Yup,
so
okay.
This one
just
is
to let you,
really
just
good.
to let you know why we like that one, or why I like that one. It was where the story took you, where it started. It didn't end the way for me. It didn't end
Good
with the way that it
characters.
started, right? So you think it's just about this motorcycle accident. It's a hit and run, but then it's about like how, drivers, the connection of people. It was just a whole.
The characters.
The characters, yeah, the 2 characters.
They were shot well, which is why it
was shot
makes
well.
it to the top.
Yeah, to be as the photographer to get the story through that,
Right.
and to go with it is like, that's a challenge. That is like talent. You know what I'm saying?
Yup.
How would you say?
We were just like, oh yeah.
Oh
okay.
yeah, right.
This is like your final list, you're just reviewing.
No,
No,
we're
just
going
seen
through
that one
another.
But we just know that
another
one. We,
entry.
Yeah, it was on a thing.
It stood out
so,
in the.
Yeah.
Was it POI?
Yep.
POI? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
next.
Shadows.
Alright, it's this one.
Yeah, it was on a POI.
Lost friends.
Who's?
Chatos. I'm ready.
It was the sound
the boom.
that brought them out.
Just exploded and it just went crazy and it got all over the tree.
I feel like
took
I've
over the
seen
rest
it,
of the
but I
house.
don't know why.
Neighbors could only watch
Oh yes, I remember that shot. Yes.
as
Yeah.
flames that started small took over the home across the streets.
I'm just really, really happy to know that wasn't anyone home.
I don't think it's a feeling you want to feel, man.
But the family who was
dogs.
not inside was still worried
Oh my
Yes.
God.
about the other family members they could not find.
We are just going to have to wait to see if we can find the other pups.
I'm thinking maybe they got caught up in the fire or something like that.
7 dogs were on the property when the fire started.
¿Qué pasó, Chato?
And when Rafael Martinez arrived, only one
Yeah, he was on the street.
had made it out.
They don't let us approach the house yet.
It would be an hour before anyone could go inside.
That was a good shot.
Firefighters putting out hot spots, the smoke eventually starting to clear.
They were small dogs.
And as the Martinez family were allowed back into their front yard, what they found
Right.
was the day's only
Olivia!
pleasant surprise.
I don't know what they are going to do.
All 7 dogs, despite the
But
odds,
at least they are going to have a place to sleep.
somehow found alive.
That make you happy, see that they are survived.
Moment.
It's just that
Yep.
we don't have a place to keep them.
Reporting in Dallas, Jack Hyperger,
Huh?
NBC5.
I like that one.
I think this one might, it's a yes for me, so I think it may.
It can knock one. Yeah, this one's a yes for me. It was shot well, and that moment at the end, like, and it was short enough. It was short, but like you cared about whether that guy got his dogs out or not. I say yeah. Yes. Yeah.
This one should be our last one. The next one.
Okay.
This the last one?
Yes. Yeah. In Our Hood.
Oh, that's the title of it. I thought you meant like.
The last entry in this category.
Yeah. I don't know what I was just like. Okay, what's the title? Perfect.
We ready?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Broad daylight, Broadway and Myrtle. A man lights up and begins
yes.
smoking.
Oh, wow.
Less than 30 seconds later, he stumbles right into our news van. He keeps going, but he doesn't make it far. He collapses, begins nodding off and twitching before he finally passed out. Not only did this happen in front of our camera, it happened with police just a few feet away. They responded quickly.
Come here. You awake? Hey.
Listen as they did all they could to help him.
You awake? Papa, just open your eyes for me, okay? Can you open your eyes?
Until the ambulance arrived. People in this neighborhood are tired of seeing scenes like this unfold right in front of them. About an hour after that man OD'd, activists hit the ground here, fed up.
No K2 in our hood. No K2.
They put red X's on the doors of delis that have been accused of selling K2 in the past. When they got to the Big Boy Deli at the heart of the crisis, Myrtle and Broadway,
When do we want it? Now. When do we want it? Now.
they sat down and blocked the entrance, chanting until they were taken away in handcuffs. The owner of the Big Boy Deli told Pix 11 his business is not responsible for the current crisis.
We're not selling K2. Okay. All right? They came in here, they searched it for 2 days, and they didn't find nothing.
That one's a yes for me. That's a great
solid
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in this situation where I get the urgency of the camera, that's.
Is this the last?
That's the last one. You need to look at it
Can we
again.
go back to that one again? I just want to see the beginning of it again.
Scroll from the middle.
The left side.
Oh, yeah.
Broad daylight, Broadway and Myrtle. A man lights up and begins smoking. Less than 30 seconds later, he stumbles right into our news van. He keeps going, but he doesn't make it far. He collapses, begins nodding off and twitching before he finally passed out. Not only did this happen in front of our camera, it happened with police just a few feet away. They responded quickly.
Come here. You awake? Hey.
Listen as they did all they could to help.
Pause it now.
Here's the dilemma I'm in. Now, with all the other ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you think about spot news, for me, this is like exactly what spot news is. In the sense,
that's
like,
what we're saying.
Every single essence.
Yeah.
This is spot news, and it was shot well, and to be, you know, as a photographer, getting everything and staying with it and getting shots at the same time, getting good looking shots.
On different sides of this guy.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah,
and
we
it's
said
tough.
yeah.
No, I know.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just thinking about all the other ones now, because you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But no, we need to go off air, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.